I'm Sarah, Bath-based social media manager, working PR and marketing for lots of Bath-based businesses. Yeah, very family-focused, socialite, lots of friends, going out lots and lots, very sporty, very active, used to teach swimming. I didn't have the usual cancer symptoms at all. I was actually going to see my GP for the first time outside of pregnancy, saying, please can I have some painkillers? I've got terrible sciatica. But I also had a slight swelling on my left calf, and I was calling it a swelling because that's what I thought it was. And I wasn't moving properly. What followed was a series of, I guess, health checks. So first thing, oh, you've recently come back off holiday, so let's get a DVT scan, and that was clear. Okay, well, let's get a vascular scan. Nope, that's really good. Went to see a physiotherapist. No, you seem to be good. Had my back checked. So a good 10 months of lots and lots of different checks, which were all coming back as you're in good health. But I was still unhappy that my leg was just not right. It was clearly swollen. I was clearly not moving right. So I had an MRI and I didn't hear for a couple of weeks. I didn't hear anything and assumed that no news is good news. And then I got a phone call from a check-in clerk at Southmead Hospital to say, hello, this is whatever the lady's name was, from the sarcoma unit in Southmead, and I'm booking you in for your biopsy. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. And she said, I'm really sorry to hear that. You had an MRI scan and they found something in your leg. And I said, sorry, what? I really didn't know what she was saying about. And as I'm on the phone, I'm Googling sarcoma. And I'm looking at it and I'm saying to her, you telling me I've got cancer? And she's going, oh, hang on a minute. I think you really need to speak to your GP urgently. So I'm like, yeah, it really does sound like I need to speak to someone urgently. And then the next call I had was from the clinician who had requested the MRI to say that they'd found a huge tumour, which they hoped was benign, on my calf. And that I'd been fast-tracked to the sarcoma unit at Southmead for a biopsy the following week. So that's the first time I'd been in a cancer conversation. It was a horrible time waiting to get back to hear if you had cancer. They'd all obviously had hoped it was a benign tumour, and it wasn't. And my cancer is a sarcoma. It's a really rare cancer. And what I remember sitting in the room with my partner and then just more and more people coming in the room, like the whole team were amassing around you. So I had two amazing surgeons, but one said, we're going to be frank, Sarah, the radiotherapy had worked, but they didn't know if they could save my leg. They didn't know if they were going to have to amputate. So I came round 9 hours later. I had no idea if my leg was on my body. I don't have cancer anymore, but I kind of have to live as if I still do, and I think that's really difficult because the scars and the way that my body is left and my mind is left. I think, you know, the bigger the scar you have, it doesn't mean you've had a bigger battle at all, and I think that's really important to remember. We have some community members here today whose scars are all internal, but they've had just as big a battle with their health as, as the next person.